What's up, Brian Tong here, and this is my review for Samsung's flagship OLED TV this year, the S95F. And this TV is arguably the best OLED TV for you right now, so we're gonna talk about it. Now, there has recently been talk about how OLED is dying because consumers are going for larger TV display sizes for more immersion and better prices than ever before. And that trend is true, but OLED is anything but dead. It's not dying anytime soon, and it's still the TV display technology of choice for me when you want to get those true inky black levels and the best image quality possible, which matters to me. Now, I can still confidently recommend it if it makes sense for you and what you're looking for and the room that you're using it in. But now that might change for me with RGB mini LED and Samsung's micro RGB TV tech. That's on the horizon, but that's down the road. So let's jump into this, the S95F, and Samsung sent this 77-inch model of this TV to me for the purpose of this review. This is not sponsored, and it will go right back to them. Now, I hauled in this big boy with my buddy John. This is a large TV, 77 inches, but setup is pretty straightforward, right? You unbox it, you screw on the feet. Really, this is more of a stand that came in 3 parts. That actually took a little time, but you should absolutely use 2 people to lift this thing into place, to move it around, to set it up. Trust me on this one. But set up the connections with the One Connect box, right? That's that separate box here that allows us to be so thin, and you're gonna be good to go. Now, what's arguably the biggest distinguishing feature on this TV is Samsung's treatment of their flagship OLED display with their OLED glare-free technology, and it's gotten even better. That was first introduced last year on the S95D, and at that time it was a little controversial because purists were debating if you still get those true blacks and that true color reproduction. It did have a slightly more washed out look because of the glare-free treatment, and there are OLED maniacs that really care about that. But with this new S95F, this TV brings the best of both worlds because I'm here in my living room. I have a whole bunch of different lights hitting it from different directions, and it diffuses those harsh reflections better than any TV on the market today. Now, Samsung upgraded their OLED glare-free surface to make it perform even better compared to last year, so you're getting better performance with those black levels and better vibrant colors while still rejecting harsh light and reflections. Yes, the black levels can raise a little bit when it's in a brighter room because of this anti-reflective surface. It might not have that same exact visual pop, right, from other top-tier OLEDs like the Sony Bravia 8 Mark II or let's say the LG G5 that do not have a glare-free surface. But TVs like that perform best in a dark room or if you're able to completely black out your living room and control all the light coming into it. The majority of living rooms at home and living spaces do not have that ability, and that's what makes the S95 so compelling. Now, the image quality is still excellent. You're getting the benefit of OLED with the deeper blacks, vibrant colors, pixel by pixel control, and so that means no blooming and a wide viewing angle. You can really go on the extreme edges and this image still looks the same. There's no discoloration or breakdown. But you're also getting that OLED glare-free surface, which is arguably the most day-to-day practical feature that is going to affect how people use this TV in a bright room. Now let me try to show this for an example or really a comparison from my own house. Now first up here, this is my personal Sony A95L. This is a 77-inch TV from 2023 and it was rated the best king of TVs in 2023 and 2024 at the annual Value Electronics TV Shootout. If you're not familiar with that, look it up and it's a great reference for the best performing TVs each year. Now my A95L is still an incredible TV, but look at that glare and those reflections that hit this TV when it's in my kitchen and living room space with all the windows open. I can't deal with that, and that's why I have blackout shades in my living area. Now let's look here at the S95F, and this is a whole different ballgame. We are showing you the same angles, and look at how this TV handles these glares and reflections. That is exactly what this TV is meant to do. So even if the image is slightly washed out, raised blacks when it's really bright, it's improved from the last version, and the majority of consumers, again, will not care about that. There's a practicality of this, right? This is a true practical advantage to having an OLED TV with this glare-free surface like the S95F. Now, another bugaboo of OLED TVs is that they are not able to get bright as mini LED TVs to compete with natural light that comes through. Well, some of you might have a TV that you feel is hard to see when daylight fills the room, but based on the measurements of the S95, this has a peak HDR brightness of over 2000 nits which is really bright. I mean, the intensity pops off the display at times, which is excellent for OLED, and a full screen white field brightness of over 390. Now, full screen brightness is important for content like, let's say, sports, where you have a large area of a single color like green turf and a field, and that needs to be evenly displayed without looking washed out. So if you combine its OLED glare-free surface with these brightness measurements, it makes the S95, in my mind, the best OLED TV to use in daylight situations. This TV also brings Samsung's latest generation of their AI processor that uses AI-based formulas to upscale content to 4K resolution for this TV. So think of some broadcasts that are at low res, this upscales that. It does look really nice. Now, from a display technology standpoint, a big decision that some people will make is the fact that this TV supports up to HDR10+, but it does not support Dolby Vision content, which is the industry standard for most TV shows and movies. And why might this be important? Well, Dolby Vision uses dynamic metadata, 12-bit color, and has the potential for higher peak brightness up to 10,000 nits and more with creator control. Now, Dolby Vision is licensed and requires royalty fees, while HDR10+, which is what this TV supports, uses dynamic metadata with up to 10-bit color, up to 4,000 nits peak brightness, and is royalty-free. Now, both are better than the standard HDR10 from before, but videophiles and purists care about these things. They always lean towards Dolby Vision. Samsung also created and pioneered HDR10+ as a successor to HDR10, so they have their reasons for doing this. But Samsung, to this date, still refuses to support Dolby Vision on their TV sets, and that's a deal breaker for some people. Samsung just recently announced that Samsung TVs will be the first to support HDR10+ content on the Disney Plus service for over 1,000 Hulu titles now. Disney Plus content and additional Hulu content is coming in the future, but it looks like it's only Hulu content right now. And this is the first time that your Samsung TVs that have support for HDR10+ can take advantage of that dynamic metadata for better contrast, richer colors, and overall better picture quality in the Disney Plus app with Hulu content. Now, if I never told you this, it might not matter, but there are really levels to this stuff, and I wanted you to know about it and explain it out a little bit. Now, if we're talking about visuals, we have to talk about gaming. Now, you can connect a game console to this, right? You will get up to 4K at 120 hertz performance, which is what we expect for a TV at this level. But if you connect a PC, you can get VRR gaming at up to 4K at 165 hertz with a PC graphics card that supports that, and this TV also supports NVIDIA G-Sync as well. Now, gaming looks great on this, and you won't have any issues with console gaming here. It plays exactly the way you want. I mean, I feel like it looks excellent. Plus, you have Samsung's own gaming hub, which gives you access to thousands of streaming titles directly on this S95F. All right, let's talk about the design of this TV, right? It's very minimalist with one of the thinner bezels that you'll find on a TV with a single flat pedestal stand. It's very simple. This is really a thinner TV thanks to the Samsung One Connect box. Now, that is a separate box that you can put either on the side or behind the TV, behind your cabinet even, leaving this more clean space in your living room. You want to sometimes just focus on just the TV. It has 4 HDMI 2.1 ports and 1 with eARC to connect to your home theater system. There's 3 USB ports. You get 1 Ethernet port, 1 optical audio output port. You have an antenna cable input to get local TV stations over the air. You have the power port, and then their proprietary One Connect port that is able to connect this to your TV with a single cable. Now, this TV is slim. It also doesn't skimp when it comes to audio. It has a built-in 4.2.2 70-watt speaker system with object tracking sound. So that takes advantage of its AI processing to make sound effects follow the action that is happening on screen while you're watching. The built-in audio sounds very good, and it really should for a premium TV, but it won't be able to compare with something like a true home theater system, something like that I have set up. But in smaller to medium-sized rooms, it sounds very good. Now, you can also connect to Samsung's ecosystem of soundbars and speakers with Q Symphony, or you get third-party compatibility as well, like you would expect. It supports Dolby Atmos for audio, and it has a feature called Active Voice Amplifier Pro to boost on-screen dialogue that's hard to understand. A movie like Tenet instantly comes to mind where this would be very helpful. Now, there are also AI features on this TV. Samsung calls it Vision AI, but it can actually be useful for you depending on how you want to use it. One of the features is its click to search, and you'll hit this button on the remote up top here, and it will show you information about the movie or show that you're watching at that moment. Now, there's information on the actors or actresses in it and also related content. There's also live translate, where if you're watching a live broadcast, you'll be able to have live translation happen on screen at the same time. Now, the S95F comes in 55, 65, 77-inch like this, and 83-inch display sizes. This, again, is the 77-inch one. It's almost as tall as me. Now, the 55-inch version of this TV retails for $2,299, but is currently priced at $1,999, and you can find deals on TVs by just hunting around or buying during the right time of the year. Now, this 77-inch here retails for $4,499, but can be found for around $3,799. But remember, how I told you the trend for consumers is that they're looking for bigger TVs at better prices. So just as a comparison point of what's out there, you could get something like a TCL 98-inch mini LED. It's their QM 8K for $3,999. That is what, approximately 21 inches larger in size for about the same price. Now, that TV is not an OLED TV, but their mini LED tech and that technology in general has gotten so good that these days it's pretty darn close to OLED. So that's the decision really that you have to make for yourself, and most people have a budget in mind. They're gonna purchase the TV that makes the most sense for them at that price. But even if I don't own one myself of this TV, if you had to ask me what OLED TV is the best TV, I'd first ask you about the room you're planning to put it in, how much light comes through it, and for most people, it's gonna be the room they put this TV in is gonna be the brightest room in their house. And if that's the case, then Samsung's S95F is most likely the best option for you if you're looking at a top-of-the-line OLED TV on the market compared to what else is out there. So that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I've got plenty of other TV content here and all the tech things. So until next time, we'll see you later. Peace and love.